My entire life, I have been taught, and that is never, it's never consciously. It's never like people choose to teach me this or try and make me feel this way. But the way that our society works, we teach sick people that when they are sick, somehow, some way, they cannot be as happy as normal, healthy people, right? We teach them that their happiness, their contentment in life, their joy in life is tied to how healthy we are. And it's because as a society, we put all of our, we throw all of our happiness, we throw all of our success and our joy into the circumstances of our life, right? It's all about, do you have the right job? Are you in love? Are you with someone who's going to love you back? Are you living your passion? Are you rich? Are you healthy? Right? If you're not all that stuff, there's something wrong. You have reason to be miserable. You have reason to pity yourself, right? So as a society, we put so much stock into the circumstances of our life that it's hard for us to realize that someone can be sick and happy. I started to realize that people who are sick, and nurses and doctors as well, everyone in the medical community, everyone in the healthcare community, gets so stuck in this notion that a hospital room is this cold, sterile, white place where we go to be sick, and that's all that it can be. And we get so stuck in that we cannot see the possibility. We can't see what we can make out of it. We don't see what we can do with it. I started realizing that our lives, in a way, are like this, right? Our lives are like empty hospital rooms. We get so stuck in the idea that, it's supposed to be good or bad. Right? If we're sick, well, then it's cold and it's sterile, and we just have to live with it like that. And we don't let ourselves realize, we don't let ourselves see that we can make that hospital room beautiful. We can make our lives into a piece of art. We all have that ability. We all have that capability as human beings to turn these empty hospital rooms, to turn these lives into something really beautiful. So how do we change this? How do we stop the conversation from being, we need people to be healthy before they can start living? And how do we turn the conversation into, living with illness, living while being sick, being happy while being sick? And here's the truth of the matter, right? We look at people who are sick and we pity them because we believe that their sickness means their life has to be inherently less joyous than everyone else's. Yes. What we don't see is that when people suffer, people feel pain, it's just connecting them to life, right? It's connecting them to everyone else. Because the truth is, no matter what kind of life you're living, no matter what kind of circumstance you're in, you are gonna feel miserable sometimes. You're gonna have nights where you feel like the entire world is closing in on you and it's never gonna be okay again, and you're always gonna be alone, right? And you're gonna have days where you feel so happy to be alive, where you feel joyous and you feel inspired, and you are always gonna feel that. No matter if all of your dreams come true and you're living in that New York loft apartment and, doing whatever you've ever wanted to do and are in love and married and whatnot, you're still going to feel the complexity of life. Because life does not discriminate between circumstance. Life is not gonna stop unfolding itself to you just because you're sick or just because your life isn't how you think it's supposed to be. There's still going to be beauty. And I can honestly say a majority of the happiest moments in my life have been when I'm sick in the hospital. Honestly. And think about the implications of that, because I have lived the kind of life that all of you spend your entire lives running from. I've been sick and dying my entire life, and yet I am so proud of my life. What does that say? No, really, what does that say about the way we're all living our lives? We're waiting to be healthy. We're waiting to be wealthy. We're waiting to find our passion. We're waiting to find our true love before we actually start living, instead of looking at everything that we have, looking at all the pain, looking at all the sadness, looking at all the beauty, and making something with that. That's how innovation happens. Innovation doesn't happen because there's some person who's in a great circumstance and everything's going well and and they just get on a roll and they make something for the world. Innovation happens, art happens because of suffering. And when we clamp down to that suffering, when we teach people who are sick, when you teach little 7-year-old me that because I'm sick, I don't have anything to give to the world, I don't have anything to create, when you pity people who are sick, you take away their power. So I want to encourage you all, next time you meet someone who's suffering and who's in pain, instead of shutting down, instead of pitying them, why don't you think, I bet their life is so beautiful. Really look at them and think, I bet their life is so complex and beautiful. When you look at me, instead of seeing the poor little happy sick kid up here, see someone who's lived an incredibly complex life, incredibly beautiful life, an incredibly painful life, and who has made something of it. And realize that you have that power as well. Really do. We all get to be a part of this giant human epic story, right? We get to be a part of human history. We get to add to it. We have something to give. If we stop getting so caught up in the circumstance of our life, in how healthy we are, in how, seemingly happy and okay we are on the outside, and we realize it's what we're creating that matters. It's what we're adding to this beautiful story that matters. When we start looking at that, we can change the world.